Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Very good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking.
Today, the topic we are going to discuss is the horrible air crash that,
Yes.
that we have witnessed on 12th.
Yeah, 12th of June 2025. Yes, it was a horrible day.
Yes.
Uh,
So, to begin with, some basic details about the aircraft. Boeing 787 was a Dreamliner, not expected to crash at any time because it's a very good aircraft. The flight number A1171, right?
yes.
Yes. The flight was from Ahmedabad to London Gatwick, and within I think a few seconds or 1.5 minutes of takeoff, the
Yeah,
plane
I think, yeah, very shortly after takeoff, it was crashed.
it crashed within 1.5 minutes. Yeah. What are your feelings about this horrific crash?
Okay, so I got to know about this through Instagram, of course, because I think on 12th of June, it was a working day for me. So I
Yes.
was doing my office work and I just opened Instagram like normally I do, and I found out that something happened. I was actually shocked, and I asked people around me that is it true? Please check in your phones also if you have any information. Then they have checked, and yes, the news was confirmed, but it was very like unfortunate and horrible because there were 242 people, 230 passengers and 12 crew members, and I think only one person has survived somehow. That is also, I think, a tragedy or weirdest
Miracle.
weirdest thing to actually see that out of 242 people only one person has survived. And even he's saying that he didn't know how he survived because he has seen people dying in front of his eyes. So I think that was the one thing, but again the plane has crashed on hostel building, right? So
Yes, the
it's
BJ Medical Hostel building.
yes.
Yes. So the pilot gave a mayday call to the ATC immediately after it took off. It's almost like I think 45 seconds after the plane took off, the
Mhm.
pilots gave a mayday call to the ATC, but immediately after that they lost communication.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so there was nowhere that the ATC could also contact the pilot or co-pilot, and the plane crashed into the hostel of the BJ Medical College. That also is a very shocking incident where young medicos and
Uh,
young medical students, interns who were having lunch around 1:30 in the
mm,
afternoon
mm.
had to meet with this horrible fate.
Yeah, and there is no way they have involved in this because they were doing just their daily
Routine
task.
work, yes.
Yeah, they were doing their routine. They were having their lunch, and I think they had no idea that this would be
Such a
their
thing
last
could
day.
happen. I know. And curiously, of course, let's talk about it a little later about the compensation which Air India and government is going to offer and things like that. But then, what are your views about how could this plane have crashed? What could be the reasons behind it?
Okay, so when I actually read about it, I got to know that it's a mechanical failure, something related to engine specially, and it was not something we could have fixed because it's very unfortunate. Every day there are many flights, international flights, domestic flights, and I think pilots and engineers are very well aware that how to operate and how to maintain, but not sure. Like I think it's
What could have happened? Could it be a human error, something which the teams have skipped, some pilot error? Could be a pilot error. Could be a
Uh,
could be a bird flight of birds.
yeah, there could be any reason, but the reasons I have read is that the mechanical failure, and when it comes to mechanical failure, I think they have to be more careful now because they are flying with 250 people around, so it's a huge risk. And I think we should not even blame pilots here because they have also lost their lives. Because if pilot have survived, I am very sure that all people must have blamed that pilot couldn't operate the flight well, or saved his life, but he couldn't save the passenger's life and crew members' life. So now the thing is that pilot is also no more. So there is no way to talk about it like it's pilot's fault or anything. I think it's just the maintenance or the mechanical stuff. They should have been more careful to avoid such things because it's a huge thing. And I think after a long time this happened, maybe after
Yeah.
2010.
Yes, one of the worst disasters in the
Yes.
last 30 years in Indian aviation.
And I'm completely against about this compensation thing. I know it is going to help people somehow, because if someone who is earning in the family is no more than the 1 crore compensation thing, is going to help them. But I think this is not the solution, right? And this is not the only incident which has happened, the plane crash. I think recently that RCB stampede happened, then the local train incident in Mumbai, then
Mumbai, where
again,
8 people died on
yeah.
the spot.
So what is happening? What we are doing? What government is doing? I am really surprised. Every day, if you open any news channel or Instagram, you see some news where people are not involved. It's not their fault. It's just the incident happened and they lost their lives. I think we are living in a world where life is very casual.
Cheap, very cheap.
Yeah, very casual. I mean, the incident happened and people forget about it. They move on,
Yes.
and there is no solution.
Yeah, and a very interesting question somebody asked me that their Air India is offering compensation to of 1 crore to the the family of the
The families
deceased.
of the
But
survivors.
see,
Good
they are
point.
not giving very good detailed news about how many doctors have actually died. What about those families who have lost young doctors?
Yes, exactly.
Mm.
Okay, so they have declared this compensation thing only for the
Only for the all those who have died, maybe, but they still are not clear about the number of doctors who have died. They are still not coming up with reports of number of doctors who have died, because they are very young interns who have just finished their medical
Yeah,
graduation.
yes.
So parents would have also spent a huge amount on their studies and um,
Of course, yes.
or in their hostels and hospitals, etc. So they are not talking much about how many doctors, and will the compensation go to all the families of these young doctors, and how many. Now, today, one interesting news is that black box was discovered on the rooftop of the BJ Medical College. So the analysis of the black box will again give us a lot of information about what actually happened at that last minute.
Okay, okay. Then there is more to reveal.
Yes, there's much more to reveal. The black box is what people are waiting for. There are teams coming from all over. That is your DGCA, your Airports Authority, the suppliers of these, aircrafts, GE. They are also coming. They have also reached Ahmedabad, and their investigation into what actually happened will be an eye opener, I think. Now, see the tragedy of the millions of the families. 240 people means so many members of different families are affected deeply.
Yeah, of course. And some people were about to start their new life in London. Some people are going for their job, some are going for vacation. There are 169 Indian people, then some foreign people. So I think it's a loss for everyone. And what message we are giving to other countries where people have come for vacation, they have enjoyed their time in India, and when they are going back, they are not actually going back. They have stuck here. They lost
Yeah,
their life.
the life has ended here in a very
Yes,
tragic manner. Yes. So it's a very, very heart-wrenching, situation when you see the families of those, who have died. What about the young crew? Have you seen the
yeah,
footage
cabin crew.
of the cabin crew,
I
the
I
young
actually
girls?
Yes, I actually follow one cabin crew over Instagram on YouTube, and she has posted something about that. Like, we lost our lives because it's not their fault, also, right? They are doing their job, and 12 crew members. So she posted things over her channel, and people were bashing her that you have only mentioned about the cabin crew people. But her only intention was, normally people call them that chai wali or staff or anything, but now when there was a time, they have also lost their lives, right? So now at least you should appreciate the cabin crew job. That's what her intention was. So I think it's really sad. It's really sad.
Yeah, it's very sad. Very young age group
Yes.
of cabin crew, very young lives. So many of these reports also tell us that maybe the runway was not long enough. So if they had taken care about the infrastructure, widening the runway over a period of time, the pilot would have had enough scope to, fly higher and then avert the strike.
Okay.
So these are reports coming. How right these reports are, one does not know, but definitely, I think we are sadly lacking in infrastructure and improvements.
Infrastructure improvement, management, mechanical stuff, maintenance, everything. And I think there is no one left to actually discuss about this. What has really happened? Why it happened? What's the problem? There was no one to talk about it because
Because it
everyone.
is very evident that
Yeah,
government also knows that there is a lot that needs to be done for improvement of runways and the areas around the runway. Also, you should not have so much of habitation. Should not have so many buildings.
exactly. Yes,
So
yes.
there's they feel that maybe the number of people who died outside of the aircraft have been only a few, and it could have been more disastrous if it was a public place, if it was a public road where there were a lot of traffic. It could have crashed anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It could have.
A slight compensation and relief is that it just fell on a building. But then I think today we need to take stock of how we should improve our infrastructure. The number of people who are traveling, the number of flights that are there today is incomparable to what was there even 5 or 10 years back, right?
Yes. And what mode of transportation is safe now? Nothing. Like, if you are flying, you are scared. If you're going in train, you are scared. In transportation, on road trips, you are scared. So there is nothing safe. I think.
So there's nothing that will give us the courage that life will go on. Life can end at any minute.
Exactly. So we think about that tomorrow we'll do this, tomorrow we'll do this, but we never
There may be no
tomorrow will.
tomorrow. There
Yeah.
may be no tomorrow. It's
Yes.
a very sad situation we are in with the bulging population and the poor governance and infrastructure. I think we need to do a lot more. It's a very sad day. 12th June will always be remembered as a very sad day. The trauma which the families will never ever overcome.
Never, yeah. Because when you lose someone, I think there is no way to overcome, there is no way to compensate that loss, no matter how much amount you're giving to that family, but a life can't be back, right? So,
Yeah, I heard a report saying, I will give you 2 crores. please give back my father.
Yes, yes.
So that's really sad. You can't give back any life. And this 1 crore compensation, as you say, is just a token. It's not comparable to the life of a person.
Maybe they are doing what's in their scope, but
Yes, financial help
yeah,
is, we may be very welcome and needed in some families. We do not deny that. But at the same time, I think more care has to be taken to see there are no mechanical failures, no faults, everything is ship shape, and more thought goes into maintenance.
exactly. They should be more careful now. And it's good actually for families who need this compensation so that they can move ahead in life. But I think everyone is not happy with this kind of compensation or token of help. Maybe they are looking forward for some kind of action so that these things won't happen again in future, and they are
True.
seeking for guarantee if they are flying in the same airline maybe. So of
Exactly. So people will now be scared to fly Air India for some time.
course, I think in Air India also, in past also, this incident happened in
Yes,
India.
yes.
This is not the first time.
I think there was an incident in Mangalore airport,
Okay.
sometime back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the Mangalore airport is known to have a very short runway. Very short runway. The pilots really struggle to land and take off because the runway is very, very short and there's no scope to expand it also.
I think that then there should be some solution
Steps
on this.
to
Yeah.
relocate the airport
Yes.
and move to a better place where the runway can be long, and the pilots don't struggle to land and take off.
Yeah, because you can't take risk every time. If it's for one time, it's fine. But flights are running every day, so every day it's a risk if the runway is not good enough to fly and
Yes, they really struggle. Pilots really struggle to land in Mangalore airport.
it's very unfortunate. It's very sad. It's sad for everyone, especially for people who can do something about it, actually. But I think our Prime Minister has, yeah, they
He
have
has visited the
visited,
site. Yes,
yes,
he
they have
has visited
visited
the site. They are looking into the matter.
people, and he has also visited once a survivor, the lone survivor.
The lone
Huh.
survivor. So let's talk about the lone survivor. Now, looking at that one lone survivor, it brings some kind of thoughts. Like, could it have been a sabotage? How miraculous his
Yes.
survival is. One out of 221 people.
Yeah, I mean, 242 people were there and only one survived, 241 dead.
241 dead.
It's miraculous, it's shocking, it's surprising. I think I can't find a proper word to express this feeling. I was shocked when I got to know that only one person survived. I mean, how come?
And he was seated
Good.
just behind the emergency door.
Yes.
So
So
there
people
are
are,
two or three things which make people think maybe he was involved in some way.
okay, okay, yeah, that is something need to be considered. I haven't thought
Thought
this
about no,
way.
the thought just came
Yes,
to my mind.
yes, yes.
How is it that only one person survived?
Actually, it's rare.
Uncanny,
It's something I don't want to.
unbelievable.
Yes, unbelievable. It's very unbelievable. And people are saying that when cabin crews give instruction for some emergency stuff, we don't give attention, and maybe that is the reason. But there was no way to find this. It was very sudden. I don't think
There
they
was
could
no
have.
time. Even there was just
Yeah.
about 1.5 minutes, I think, from the time the plane took off and the Mayday call went to the ATC, and there was no time for anyone to respond. I think they lost communication even from the ATC. I do not know what the passengers would have felt inside the aircraft.
Oh my God.
Was there a loud noise? Was there some kind of um, what do you call plane
Fear.
moving about or rocking from this end to the other, and then a
Yes.
sudden ball of fire with so many people dying.
I wonder they even get a time to think that they will lose their life. I wonder because it.
No, no, I don't think that they had that much time. They must have just seated in their seats and the plane ready to take off. They must have been busy talking with their companions and family and friends, and without even realizing that their end is going to come in a minute.
Yeah, there was one couple with three children. They were
Mm.
like
Yeah.
shifting to London for their future.
Yes.
It's very sad to see their picture and imagine, oh my God, what they were thinking. And I think no one think in their wildest dream that this can happen next tomorrow with me. So
Yeah, this is the case with all accidents, and but
yes,
then we are getting a minute-to-minute description of so many things that is really painful, and it's really, really tragic. We can only pray and hope that no such accidents take place either on road or sea or in the air, land, sea, and air. That's all we can pray and hope, and authorities wake up to the fact that
yeah.
they can't treat lives so casually.
Exactly. I think it's very important that we will pray. Of course, everyone prays for their life, but authorities need to consider this serious and they should think accordingly. What can they do better to not repeat this kind of incidents in future? And yes, one thing I have actually understood after talking to you that how that one person survived and why no pilot or no cabin crew was survived even though they were trained how to save their life.
Yeah,
That
it's a
even
bit.
makes
It's
to me.
it's something which is there at the back of my mind too. That could it be a sabotage? How did he survive without even a little bit of hurt? He didn't get hurt also much.
Yeah, when you see him, I also felt the same. When I see his picture, I was like, he looks normal. I mean, of course, there are some marks on his face or anything, but
Yeah.
it's not that huge. When people are died, you were injured only. I
Yeah,
mean, how come?
expecting at least that you would have broken a limb or broken your hand or hurt your spine, your neck, if it was such a
Yes, exactly.
impacted crash. How come he got off even without a slight scratch, and then he got out from the debris and he walked out of the door?
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I am very happy, Arushi, that we spoke about so many things today
Yes.
about the air crash, and it's makes us think a little more about so many things that have happened on 12 June. And it was really an engaging conversation I've had with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
Bye bye. Have a good
Bye.
day.
Thank you.